I felt so mean when I was watching Christmas in Graceland. And then afterwards, I went onto IMDb to look at some of the reviews, and it turns out that I'm not alone in a lot of these negative feelings. So that's a good thing, I think. This film is not all bad. This is a Hallmark Christmas film. I've watched maybe 25 Hallmark Christmas films over the last 2-3 weeks, and I love what they do. This is very much a weak link. So I'll read the description from IMDb, but I'm not going to spoil the narrative. But to be honest, there's something in this that I find so irritating that it kind of made me lose all faith in the film, and I lost interest in the development of the narrative. Which, I'll say just briefly, the development's fine. It goes from A to B quite smoothly, it's a nice transition, it's quite predictable, but it's not a jarring development. So the development of the narrative is fine, if you can get through it. So this was released in 2018. It's directed by Eric Close and written by Gregg, Rossen and Brian Sawyer. And the narrative from IMDb is as follows. A Chicago-based business executive travels to Memphis to secure one of the city's oldest family-owned banks. While in Memphis, Laurel reunites with an old flame, Clay, a local music promoter with loftier aspirations. So I have a slight problem, first of all, with that narrative. The fact that he's trying to secure one of the city's oldest family-owned banks. There's nothing Christmassy about that. There's nothing jolly about that. There are similar narratives, for example, where somebody is trying to buy a cookie factory that was in Christmas cookies. So there was a corporate aspect, but they still kept it festive. I think the narrative here is very lazy. The plot's very lazy. The development of it is alright if you like the narrative's design. But I just think it's not very interesting at all, and I don't care whether the company gets that or not. I don't give a toss. The fact that it's set in Memphis, I liked. I love the idea of it being set in Graceland because it gives it something that none of the other Hallmark films have, a completely different location. It still screams Christmas, it's very heavily decorated for Christmas, and it's beautiful to look at. So credit completely where credit is due. It's a visually very nice film. Where it lets itself down, apart from the dire narrative, is the singing. And I feel really awful for saying that, but it's true. And I'm not the only person who says this. Laurel sings a lot in this. And she's played by Kellie Pickler. And a lot of people are reviewing saying Kellie Pickler is not a good actress. I'll be honest, I have no complaints with her acting abilities. I never considered her to be a bad actress until I read the reviews, and I haven't changed my mind. I think she's fine. But her singing is actually painful to the point where I had to turn the sound way down. Because I did watch the film. I persevered. I didn't realize I stuck with it. And that's not to say she's a bad singer, as in she has a strong voice, she can hold a note, she can obviously carry a tune, but she wails and screeches, and it's very difficult to listen to. It's very painful. She kills a lot of Christmas songs. A lot of really beautiful songs are completely butchered by this performance, and that just made it almost impossible to listen to. It made it really, really uncomfortable. And if she just didn't sing, the film would have been decent. But whenever she sang, which, given the basis of the premise, was frequently, it was just painful, really painful. And I don't know if the southern twang, I guess, to the song helps make it sound really bad, because one is not used to hearing Christmas songs being sung with a strong southern accent. I suppose it would be like the UK equivalent of hearing Christmas songs being sung with a strong Cockney accent or a strong Liverpool accent, because it's not what one is used to. It's very jarring, and because she is wailing, it just amplifies that. So, very, very poor choice for the film. But then they couldn't have done it without a southern accent, because that's the setting. I will say Claire Elizabeth Green, who plays Emma, brilliant, lovely young actress. I think she had a really positive enthusiasm that made the film pretty decent. Or her scenes were pretty decent. But the rest of it, it's just not worth it. This may be the first Hallmark film where I'm Sorry if you heard that, my cat just did a giant yawn. I feel exactly the same, Medora. It deserves a giant yawn. This may be the first Hallmark film where I'm just going to say I wouldn't bother watching it. Maybe watch the first 20 minutes to see Memphis, to see Graceland, to see it looking very beautiful. I don't know if they actually filmed anywhere near Graceland, I'm not 100% sure. This is the first movie to be filmed in the Graceland mansion, so yes, apparently they did. So, credit where credit is due, that's obviously something to shout out about. And that is it. I think our protagonist does enough shouting for all of us. It is not a good film, and I would say, and I don't like saying this about a Hallmark film because I have a lot of love for Hallmark just now, but I would say avoid it.